On my own turf, I am a gold medal shopper. I speak the language, I know my way around, and I can spot a sale from a mile away. Ooh! Oh, here in Beijing's bustling marketplaces, even a seasoned pro like me can discover new challenges and great buys. In this episode, see why Beijing's Old Pipe Street attracts non-smokers from all over the world. Then, take a step back in time on Lijiang Street, where art's been sold for hundreds of years. And sharpen your bargaining skills at Yasho, where you can score a big load of goodies even if your budget is tiny. Finally, high fashion shopping. The gold that's flashed here is not Olympic, it's plastic. All coming up on Beijing Are You Ready? The sport of shopping. Not necessarily an Olympic sport, but you still come away with prizes. Sometimes it's about the things you buy. Sometimes it's about the shopping experience itself. Beijing's Old Pipe Street delivers on both. Walking on Old Pipe Street is more than a shopping experience. It's a step back in time to old Beijing, where you can immerse yourself in China's past. More than 100 years ago, shopkeepers on this street sold tobacco so people could fill their pipes. Locals thought it was fitting, since to them, the street itself looked like a pipe. Imagine the West End as the tip of the pipe, where you inhale. The narrow alley is the tube of the pipe that carries the smoke, and the eastern entrance is the end of the pipe that holds the tobacco. Today, there isn't much tobacco sold on Old Pipe Street. What you'll find are shops selling unique items, many you can't get anywhere else. Why? Because much of it is made here, on site by artists who are also the shopkeepers. Xingmu Shougong is a great example. Artists make books filled with blank paper. Some of the covers are hand-painted, and they're all bound by hand. Today, the shopkeepers are making unique clocks. Other shops, like Chinese Red, sell handcrafted ornaments from far regions of China. And paintings by local artists. When the shopkeeper has idle time, she practices the Chinese art of paper cutting. Some artists have studios off-site, but sell their work on Pipe Street, like Wang Fengnian, who owns Fengnian Earthenware Shop. Just like many others in Beijing, he's caught the Olympic fever. How long have you had this shop?
刚开张2个多月。
And do you enjoy talking to your customers, especially the foreigners who come?
就我自己的作品拿到北京来做一个窗口，让全世界的人都能看到它，喜欢它。
Don't worry if you can't speak Chinese. Most Beijing merchants have another way of communicating, the calculator. They punch in a starting price and show it to you. You negotiate by punching in your own number. Money truly is the international language. If clothes are your thing, you'll find thrift shops and even shops selling hand-woven clothing. But there's one shop that does more than just sell textiles. Today, we buy clothes and textiles off the shelf without understanding how the fabric is made. The fabric China is most famous for is silk. And here on Old Pipe Street, you can see how silk is made. Right before your eyes, you can see how silk cocoons are immersed in water. The worker gently removes the silkworm from inside the cocoon. Then the painstaking task of turning the silk into a usable form begins. The stretched silk is hung up to dry. Once it's done, it's stretched out.
That's inside.
Today, they're making batting that will go into a silk comforter. The shopkeeper says silk is very warm and lightweight. They also sell silk items made in their Sichuan province factory. The selection is colorful and varied in size and price. Tourists, of course, are mesmerized by the demonstration of how silk is made, and you'll see plenty of them on Old Pipe Street. But it's not a tourist trap. You can see a lot of genuine Beijing life here. Locals live here. Locals shop here, and so many locals pass through here that the bicycle bells never stop ringing. Even if you buy nothing on this street, just walking down it is unforgettable. But chances are you'll find something you want to take home. The hardest part of shopping on Old Pipe Street is deciding what to buy. There's so many things here at Old Pipe Street. It's hard to decide which one to get, but I think I narrowed it down to 5. This is a diary that I bought for my daughter. It's at a shop where they actually make these. I bought this for my mother-in-law. Again, I met the artist who created it, and it actually is signed by the artist. Now, I didn't forget my son. This is a hacky sack, Chinese hacky sack, and I'm kind of proud because I was actually able to play with it. I also bought a bell for myself. This goes on my bike at home, and it'll remind me of my bicycle ride through the Hutong. And finally, when I went to the silk shop, somebody told me I looked pretty good in this scarf, so had to have it. Old Pipe Street, a place where you can buy one-of-a-kind things and have a one-of-a-kind experience doing it. People in Beijing take shopping very seriously, almost as seriously as an Olympic athlete takes his or her chosen sport. By the time the 2008 Olympics open, there will be hundreds of brand new stores and new state-of-the-art buildings for Olympic visitors to shop in. But suppose you want to shop somewhere with a little more history, somewhere a little older. Well, you can't get much older than this. This is Beijing's Lijiang Street. And shops on this street have been selling art and antiques since the Ming Dynasty in the 1400s. People have walked these very streets for hundreds of years to shop for art, books, and antiques. Now, I'm going to do the same thing to find out what's so special about Lijiang Street. As you dodge the cars and bicycles, the first thing that strikes you is the architecture of the old buildings. The setting really transports you back in time. It's not just the old buildings that line the street, it's what's in the shops themselves. In older times, people practiced the art of calligraphy to create books, signs, and other documents by hand. This ancient form of writing in China was, and still is, revered as an art form. The tools to do it, brush, ink stick, ink stone to grind and hold the ink, and paper, were called the 4 treasures. Lijiang Street is where Beijingers would come hundreds of years ago to buy the four treasures. The calligraphy brushes would be dipped in ink, and in the hands of a master, a work of art that also communicated a message would emerge. The bigger the brush, the bigger the character, which explains the different sized brushes on display in this store. Today, the same calligraphy writing skills are still treasured and practiced, and local artists still come here to buy supplies. Many of their paintings are sold in stores on the same street. But most of the shops sell Chinese antiques and artifacts, like Chinese porcelain figurines, jade carvings, and shadow puppets made of donkey hide. There are a few shops that have the kind of things you can get in a San Francisco or New York Chinatown, but you can get them much cheaper here, oftentimes half the price. And if you look carefully, you can find things that are one of a kind. The mask above Pingu Jai Antique Shop might scare some shoppers away, yet the haunting statue in Tibetan clothing seems to beckon you in. If you can ignore the glare of the mask and step inside, you'll find a place that is almost as much a museum as it is an antique shop. Leather body armor made for Tibetan warriors seems to guard the long, dark, dusty passageway into the shop. Along the way, an incredible variety of Tibetan crafts is displayed. Unlike some of the more sterile-feeling shops on Lijiang Street, this one has character, and the goods inside seem to be the real thing. Like this horse saddle. The shop features Tibetan prayer flags, paintings, and a lot of Buddhist art. So who uses this?
The ordinary Tibetan people and old people and the young girl and friends.
With the Olympics promising a huge influx of tourists, a lot of shopkeepers on Lijiang Street speak enough English to greet a customer and communicate the price for an item. But occasionally, you meet someone who can be a little more helpful.
What do they like the most?
Most of the necklace.
Oh, I like necklaces too.
Precise Buddhist necklace and the Tanka paintings.
Yes.
And the mask are very, very good.
Yes.
Shopkeepers are business people, but many are also genuinely interested in their foreign customers and learning about the outside world.
My dream is to be a good English tour guide in the future. So when I came to my dream, welcome you to my hometown.
After spending time inside the shop, the mask outside no longer seems quite as frightening.
This is a mask. A grand meeting is held in which a sorcerer's dance is performed. So Tibetan people in colorful dresses and will wear the masks in the sing and dance.
In fact, you might consider taking him home with you.
What is the price for this?
Not very expensive. 3,000.
3,000 yuan?
3,000 renminbi.
Renminbi.
Yeah.
As with many Beijing shops, the suggested price is only the start of a negotiation that could be almost as entertaining as a stroll down Lijiang Street itself.
Special things for special people. So I can give you the exciting price. Okay?
What's the exciting price?
Exciting price more than 2,000.
So 2,000 renminbi, which was about maybe $300.
Okay, 2,000. Okay?
Well, I have to check my wallet. While shopping here on Lijiang Street, I discovered the secret is out. Locals and tourists flock here to buy a piece of old china to take home with them. So if you want to pick up something besides an Olympic souvenir, give Lijiang Street a try.
The 2008 Olympics will be many things to many people, but one thing it's not going to be for anyone is cheap. But just because you're in Beijing on a budget doesn't mean that you can't go home loaded with goodies. Just try Yasho Market, near the end of the famous Sanlichun Bar Street. Yasho has 5 floors of no-holds-barred shopping, from clothing to jewelry to on-the-spot tailoring.
You get everything. Oh yes, very nice, very nice. China is very good. You can see you measure a suit and it is ready in one day.
There's also art and bolts of colorful silk for sale. Aisles are crowded with browsers and sales staff hawking their wares to anyone walking by. It's a lot like a department store on the day after Thanksgiving, except there are no Santas and no sales signs. In the States, when you want a bargain, you go to a place like Target, find something you like, check the price tag, and make your decision. In places like Yasho, there are no price tags. You bargain for that price. The bad news, you could make over 20 decisions on a single purchase. The good news, unbelievable savings. Unlike a stroll through Macy's, wandering through this market can be like running a gauntlet. Salespeople will do their best to get your attention and hold on to it. Luckily, most of them speak some English, which makes bargaining much easier.
Yeah, but not as big. This is small. How big is that? Oh, okay.
So as you walk through the stalls, people call out to you and try to get you to notice their products, which is probably pretty smart. And more people are speaking English. When I come here, I try to bring a set amount of money and stick to spending only that amount of money because you can go crazy. Things are very cheap and they seem like they're really good quality too. But the problem is there's an ATM machine out there at the front lobby too, so sometimes, you know, you make a plan and you don't stick to it. There is nothing like this in the States. You're going to find things here that you'd never find things, and clearly at prices you'd never find. So if you find something that's one of a kind, you love it, but you don't have the money, here's your solution right here. An ATM, they'll take your card and they'll give you the money you need to get that thing you never thought you could find anyplace else.
If you can get past the hurdle of haggling, Yasho guarantees you'll get a good workout and exercise in living and shopping like a native.
All right, here's the thing. When you're going to buy something and you have to bargain, you have to have a strategy. Know what your lowest price, know what you hope you get it for, know what your highest price is going to be, and be ready to walk away if you're not going to get it. So I'm hoping to get that brown and pink Argyle sweater for my daughter. The price I really like to spend for it is $80. That's about $10, 80 yuan, and at today's exchange rate, it translates to about $10. And I guess I'm willing to go to 120, which ends up being about $15. And I have to be ready to walk away if I don't get the price I want. So let's go in. Ni hao. The sweater? Yes, yes.
Okay, I want.
Do you have size medium?
Oh, it's only one size.
Only one size?
Yes, one size.
Oh, it's on the...
Okay, let me help you.
Oh, thank you.
Careful.
You can speak English.
Only car.
Oh, you sound good. This is for my daughter, but I think this will fit. It's soft.
It's only one size.
One size.
Yes.
How much is it?
This one?
Yes.
This one I give away to price 280, okay?
Ooh, that's too much. I'm sorry.
你的 offer one is good quality friend.
No, I know it's good quality. I can spend. I wanted to spend 50.
50?
Yeah, 50.
50 is too no fun. Because you see our sweater, this material is very good.
I know. 280 is too much.
Okay, I give you cheap down. Okay, I will cheap price 230. Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I can't. Maybe 80 yuan.
80 yuan.
Yeah, 80 yuan. Is that okay?
Oh, 120. Okay.
What? So
120. Okay.
120?
Yeah.
100. 100.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
100?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's review. My strategy was I wanted to spend between $10 and $15. So I asked her how much the sweater was to start. She said 280 yuan. That's about $37 at today's exchange rate. So then I said I would spend 50 yuan, which is about $7 or $8. So I went in under. Then the next thing she said was 230, and then she went down to 200. I went up to 80 yuan, which was my low end, which is $10. Then if she hadn't come closer, I was ready to leave. The next price she said was 120, and I thought, well, that's my upper end, so I'll counter offer at 100, and I'll walk. I promise I'll walk if she won't do it. And she did it. She took 100. So this was $13, which was $2 less than my high price, so I think I did pretty good this time. Ni hao.
Hi, ni hao.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How much is the shirt?
This is 200.
Ooh, 200 is too much.
I give very cheap, okay?
How much?
130.
I want to pay 60. 60 yuan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is not money. Okay, I give 100.
No, it's too much.
Finish how much?
Well, I saw these other places, so I'm going to try another place. I'll try another place for 60. Okay. Thank
no
you.
problem.
Shishi. What?
Finish how much?
Well, what?
Finish how much?
60. No?
Okay, 80.
80 yuan?
Yes?
All right. 80 yuan. Okay, the strategy was to not spend any more than 100 yuan. I was hoping to spend 80, and I did. So walking away works. And I was able to justify it by saying, I've seen these shirts in other places here, so I'll go try to get a better price someplace else. And she called me back. She said, no, come back. What's your price? She went straight to 80 yuan. I have a new shirt. In China, you can experience everything from history that's 5,000 years old to the latest designer fashions. Here at the Peninsula Beijing Hotel, it's one-stop designer shopping. Cartier, Dior, Prada, and the gold that's flashed here is not Olympic, it's plastic.
Once the home of the plain Mao suit, Beijing streets today are haute couture catwalks. Fashionable men and women sporting expensive designer clothes are everywhere. In fact, Chinese people account for 13% of luxury sales worldwide, ranking third only behind Japan and the United States. What accounts for this trend? Some say that the memory of deprivation in the 1950s and 60s, when food and clothing were sometimes scarce, inspires some Chinese to buy luxuries just because they can. The Peninsula Beijing Hotel is located just a short stroll from Beijing's Tiananmen Square and is within easy access of Beijing Railway Station. The Peninsula Arcade is one of the places they shop, along with the hotel's upscale clientele. In fact, guests don't even need to put on a jacket. The 50 high-end boutiques are nestled in the lower 3 floors. This is no suburban shopping mall, with items ranging from $50,000 to $150,000. There's something for everyone, but check your credit limit first. Even if you've never shopped for luxury goods, you'll feel at home in what's been called the most prestigious shopping arcade in Beijing. Salespeople speak English and are perfectly willing to become your new best friend, offering help and advice on everything from how your choices look to how many American dollars they'll set you back. And you might get lucky. It's not unheard of to find marked down items in these stores. So set your bargain hunting radar on high alert.
When the rich, like Paris Hilton, or the famous, like Oprah Winfrey, need a high-end shopping fix, they hit the streets of New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. In Beijing, you can only find boutiques like these in hotels. So do you need an Olympic-sized budget to shop in Beijing? Of course not. But in places like these, it couldn't hurt.
Need more global luxury brands? Then head over to the China World Hotel in Beijing's Business and Diplomatic Center. Attainable by car or subway, it houses the China World Shopping Mall, which is stuffed with the extravagant fashions of Paris, New York, and Milan. China World's marble floors click with well-heeled shoppers who are visiting old friends named Celine, Fendi. Although China World Shopping Mall claims to have something for everyone, from kids' toys to a dental clinic, it's the first two levels that draw affluent Chinese and expatriate shoppers. Here, serenity reigns. No roaming teenagers or runaway toddlers, just serious fashion victims seeking status symbols. And why shouldn't they? Shopping in China got serious over 2,000 years ago with the Silk Road, when merchants from all over Europe and Asia traded luxuries here in China. With high-end boutique malls like the Peninsula Arcade and China World Shopping Mall, that tradition can only get stronger in the next 2 millennia.
Yeah.
And that's it for this episode. Here's a look at what's coming up on the next Beijing Are You Ready?
On the next episode, in a hurry? During the Olympics and peak traffic times, the only fast, reliable way to get around Beijing is the subway. Plus, taxi drivers in Beijing are required to study English. It's all part of being ready for their Olympic guests. And if you really want to understand China, forget the cab ride and take a city bus. That and more coming your way on the next Beijing Are You Ready?
From Old Pipe Street in Beijing, I'm Mary Windishar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
哪里都是尽情自由的回答，荣誉梦想。在这里全部实现。One more nation come together.